thirsty. Oh, let me get my hair done. Right here. One whole dread starting to go great. Too much. Today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever part of today's video chooses to reach you. I hope you're feeling fine. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're feeling blessed. I hope you realize that you are blessed. You got to see a day that somebody else did not get to see. It is I, your humble, gracious host, Mr. Vaughn P, aka the Political Crash Out. Coming live from the Political Garage. Let me get a sign back there that say the Political Garage behind me. I want to touch on a few things today. It's been kind of a slow couple of days ever since football season has gotten back going. Seems like Trump is told all the political people we're going to just kind of ease up on the bullshit while football season is going, because we got to, not take time away from what's going on and, well, the important shit, that's football, rather. So today I want to touch on a few things. I want to touch on this teacher bay phenomenon. Of course, we're going to get onto the latest with Trump and this Department of War bullshit. I want to talk about anti-intellectualism as well, too, a little bit. We're going to get into the latest ICE raids on the Hyundai plant, and just touch on stuff that's been going on in the state of Florida and politics, rather, because it's been about a week since I've been here with you guys. And in that time, we've had a big anti-vax push as well. So I want to touch on that and get into the whole anti-vax bullshit as well. Let me get my microphone right here. So we're going to start today. Where are my notes? Where are my notes, them? I want to get the official thing here, and let's just jump into it here. Let's clean up some of these here on the side here. We got too many scenes. Donald Trump has decided to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. And I find it very interesting that in the executive order that he wrote, he chose to use the term restoring the United States Department of War. When we were to call this is how we became the Department of War. On August 7th, 1789, 236 years ago, President George Washington signed a bill into law establishing the United States Department of War to oversee the operation and maintenance of military and naval affairs. It was under this name that the Department of War, along with the later Foreign Department of Navy, won the 1812, the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II, inspiring awe and confidence in our nation's military and ensuring freedom and prosperity for all Americans. The founders chose this name to signal our strength and resolve to the world. I don't know how much strength and resolve Department of War says. The name of the Department of War more than the current Department of Defense ensures peace through strength. It demonstrates our ability to and willingness to fight and win wars on behalf of our nation at a moment's notice, not just to defend. This name sharpens the department's focus on our national interests and our adversaries' focus on our willingness and availability to wage war to secure what is ours. I have therefore determined that this department should once again be known as Department of War, and Secretary should be known Secretary of War. I thought Donald Trump said he was the president of peace. He was the president of not having conflict under his watch. All this does is just nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It does nothing. It makes America become the laughingstock of the rest of the world. It makes America just seem like it's just not even a fucking real thing. Okay, Dankley, what's up? Let's see. Dankley says the Department of War is a better name because it better reflects what the department actually does. Actually, it doesn't just go to war, and we haven't had a war that the United States has been involved with in a while. And let Donald Trump tell it, he's the president of peace. He said that Biden was so so fucked up that he had all these different conflicts going on and he couldn't, establish peace. And that's what Trump was going to do. Donald Trump said when he got into office that the Ukraine and Israel war would be done. He said the Ukraine and Russia war would be done. He said the Israel and Gaza situation would be resolved, both of which have not been resolved. What this does do, and I don't think Yemen, that's Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump trying to just take war. I don't want to get too controversial, but precious resources are being stolen and taken out of Africa under the guise of all this bullshit that's going on. We've seen Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump spend hundreds of millions of dollars of U.S. taxpayer dollars on different attacks in different parts of Africa. Those aren't wars. Let's see. Let's ask Google when the last war the United States was in. Afghanistan war. The 20-year war that we had in Afghanistan. That was the last war that we had. So the Department of War is a useless name because we don't wage war. And if you remember correctly, the whole Afghanistan, Iraq whole situation behind with weapons of mass destruction, they were never found. We in the United States are a bully. I won't lie about that. We do stick our nose in places that we shouldn't be in, but let's see. Dankley says, from my understanding, American troops are in Yemen right now fighting the Yemeni civil war. Yes, American troops may be in Yemen, but that's not an American war. That's not a war that the United States of America as a whole is getting involved with, sending resources there saying, hey, if we don't win this war, the United States is in danger. We invaded Afghanistan because they supposedly had weapons of mass destruction. Um, the whole Iraq, Saddam Hussein, come on, man. Like, when the United States engages in a war, it's because the United States of America is being threatened in some way, shape, or form. The Yemeni Civil War, as you named it, is the Yemeni Civil War. It's not the Yemeni United States conflict. It's not the Yemeni U.S. war. It's not any of those things. The United States is stationed all over the United States. The United States military is stationed all over the world, acting as advisors to a bunch of different armies. If you want to get a little bit more shady with it, I would, if you would have said, Yemen has CIA operatives and CIA funded militia groups, that's more along the lines of reality. But to call it, say, hey, United States is involved with a war in the Yemen Civil War, we're not at war there. That's not an American conflict. But I will say that CIA and covert ops may have a bunch of assets on the ground there doing some work. I won't deny that. Is the United States going to benefit at the end of this? Yes, because the one thing that we do know that the United States does love is when a country is destabilized. When a country is destabilized, America can come in and slide in, put their base there, put their troops there, put their influence there, and never leave. But that doesn't happen without destabilization. And a civil war, that's where we're headed with that one. So, yeah, U.S. is involved, but it's not a U.S. war. But thank you for that contribution, because that just shows you that we're not really. That shows how the U.S. Army, U.S. military's tactics were. We were the Department of Defense. They got involved and they helped on the backside to make sure that U.S. interests are good. This whole Department of War shit, I haven't the slightest fucking clue where it's going to go and where it's going to lead us. How would you define war? Let's see. How would you define war? America might not have officially declared war on Yemen, but American troops are in Yemen fighting against the Yemeni government. I don't see how that is not a war in everything but name. You probably the only one to see that as a war. Dankly, honestly, when we had, gosh, I forgot the original conflict that the United States military was involved with, where we basically funded Osama bin Laden. This is what's going on. As I said, alluded to earlier, U.S. interests are going to be defended. War is the Afghanistan war, the Iraq war, World War I, World War II. Give some risk one. Desert Storm, where you're seeing full-scale deployments. Having a few operatives involved with a situation, acting as advisors and consultants, because that's what they're called. They're not troops fighting against the Yemeni army. There are advisors and consultants on the ground that are helping to train and guide the forces that are going against them, and say, hey, if you use these weapons right here that the CIA is providing you, you might do a little damage. if you bomb this, airport that they're using to fly in and out their supplies, you might have some success. That's really what's going on. You have advisors and consultants that are on the ground that are helping people to coordinate in their civil war, which I alluded to earlier. CIA. You have clandestine things that happen like this. So no, we're not in a full-scale war with Yemen. If the United States was in the full-scale war with Yemen, do you think Yemen would survive past even a couple hours? Like, just logically think about that. If we had a full-scale U.S. tactical deployment, how long would the Yemeni government last? We gotta ask ourselves the tough questions sometimes. I do it all the time to myself. Sometimes I want something to be true, and I have to really be real with myself and be like, okay, how plausible is this? How likely is this? And look for ways that I'm actually wrong. And that helps me shore up and make sure that I'm not just talking crazy out here. But you're not wrong in saying that U.S. is involved with that conflict. They are there, but that's not a U.S. war. No. As Google stated, the most recent war the U.S. was engaged in is the war in Afghanistan. And that was a 20-year war. And it spanned a couple different presidencies, a whole bunch of fucking lives were lost. And all for nothing. It just destabilized that whole region, which, like I said before, the U.S. government loves to see destabilized nations. But once again, I thank you for that contribution, thankfully. Speaking of wars, I just want to drop this conspiracy theory out here real quick. On the heels of us seeing Donald Trump do this whole Department of War rebranding, and we've had, not just in Yemen, we've had different situations going. What was it? Damn. Give me one moment. We spent a bunch of fucking money. The Gulf of Aden. Since this whole conflict started, we've spent a lot, not conflict, since this Trump was started, we've not only had issues in Yemen, we've had issues in a couple different parts in Africa. Not issues, but we've had a lot of strikes. We've had a lot of attacks. We've had a lot of shit that's been going on with America, just attacking different parts of Africa. It's not a whole scale war. Hold on. Thanks, it's not done. The Vietnam government won against the Americans, but regardless of what you want to call it, war or not, the American involvement in Yemen is causing a massive loss of life. There's no denying that. I think you're thinking I want to say you're wrong or something. It's not a matter of being right or wrong here. It's a matter of fact or not fact. And the fact of the matter is the United States government, the United States of America, is not at war with Yemen. We've both described the same situation, excuse me, where we're talking about assets and consultants and advisors being on the ground and involved with it. But that's not a full scale war. If you were to think about a full scale war, Yemeni government would not. That shit wouldn't. And the Vietnam government, that's your opinion. I think history books may say a little something different in regards to America versus Vietnam. You know, but as I tell anybody, and as people have said before, they'll continue to say, the winners write history. I don't know about. I read American history books too, so. But speaking about war, this whole Department of War thing is, I believe, is a precursor to what we're seeing with Donald Trump and this whole Project 2025 playbook. A lot of the things that we've seen be put out there is direct result of this Project 2025 playbook that a lot of people swore up and down was just not real before the election. After the election, everyone was like, yeah, it's real. Look at it here. And as we're seeing things play out, we're seeing the long game get set up. The Department of War, in the time of peace, when we had a guy that campaigned and say he was a peaceful peacetime president, I think it's a very, very telling thing. We're going to see Donald Trump try to initiate and instigate some type of war. It may not start immediately, but within the next 2 years, by his third year in office, no later than that fourth year, we're going to see some very, 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 very egregious, aggressive moves made by Donald Trump using the United States military against some type of nation. The reason for this is a similar reason that the Israel and Gaza conflict is not wrapped up and ongoing. Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, has been keeping power in a stranglehold in Israel because they are under war. And when you're technically in war times, you cannot have a transition of power. So Benjamin Netanyahu is not going to leave office until this conflict resolves. And as we see, this conflict is ever going and has been ongoing. And the United States of America has similar clauses to where we cannot transfer power at times of war. So we're going to see Donald Trump start some type of conflict or respond to some type of conflict and drag us into a war in his presidency in an effort to keep power. And once that occurs, we're going to be on a very slippery slope in America. I could see this happening. I see it being set up. I just see the moves being set up right now. And a lot of people don't want to believe that this man would do such a thing because they didn't believe he would do half of the things that he said he was going to do when he got in office. But guess what? He did it. And that Project 2025 playbook, it has this type of stuff. It talks about this type of stuff. Create conflict so there's no succession of power. That's just where we're headed. Speaking about where we're headed in the Project 2025 playbook, let's take a look at something else here. Let's switch to this immigration push that's been going on by Donald Trump. We had how many people? It was, I think it was 300 something people. Uh, 475 workers at the Savannah, Georgia Hyundai plant were detained by ICE over the weekend. More than 300 of them were South Koreans. Now, these South Korean people have visas. They have visas. They're gainfully employed. They're not just motherfuckers that are here talking about, speaking English and can I have a job? These motherfuckers were sent here to the Honda plant in Savannah, Georgia to work there as skilled labor. And ICE wanted to detain them. I don't know about you, but I thought Donald Trump said he was going after the illegals and the scum of the immigration. If I'm not mistaken, what we repeatedly see when we look at these immigration stores or these ICE raids, we constantly see immigration snatching up and arresting restaurant workers, farm workers, people that are going through the immigration and naturalization process already, people that are sent here by their country to work in a factory that is owned by a company from that country as skilled labor. I thought Trump wanted the immigrants that were actually here to work and do a good job, not the motherfuckers that, excuse me, I thought that's what he wanted. But we've not seen him go after not one MS-13 or cartel, operation. We've not seen any of those. They made this whole situation up by Kilmar Garcia, Brayo Garcia, and this man is legit. So, like, what the fuck? Like, they're trying to frame him as a criminal instead of going after the real criminals. They're still going after Kilmar Brayo Garcia. This man is not a fucking criminal. This man is a hard worker. Just like these Koreans that were working in the Hyundai plant in Georgia. And I know some of you guys are saying, well, if they deport the workers, then that we could, fill that up with Americans, These immigrants are doing most of the work that most Americans have already said they weren't going to do. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not going on no fucking farm. You cancel Christmas on that if you think I'm gonna motherfucking go back on the farm. The grandson of fucking farmers. I am not going on no fucking farm. He keeps deporting people, but let's take a look at something really quick. The U.S. economy added 911,000 fewer jobs than previously reported in the largest ever revision. The largest revision ever. Like, if you look at right now, it's something else I've seen something too that says we got more unemployed people in America than we got jobs. Jobless rate rose to 4.3%. Now, the interesting thing about the job data is that this number only accounts for people that actually are looking for a job. So the people that don't give a fuck about being employed anymore, or just gave up and just stopped looking, or the motherfuckers that just like, man, I ain't working for the man is stupid. It don't count the motherfuckers. So that 4.3% is actually fucking higher. And think about that. 4.3% of the nation is unemployed. Let's do a little quick Google search real quick. What's the USA population? We got 340 million people. United States population is 340 million people. Let me get out my calculator. 340 million people. $14,620,000 people are unemployed. At 4.3%, a 4.3% unemployment rate, that means of that 340 million people, 14.62 million people are unemployed in the United States of America. And that's all that's the numbers that they're tracking. Now keep in mind that Donald Trump just fired the director of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, saying that she was just, putting bad numbers out there. So these numbers that were out here that we're looking at, those are Trump people. The bad part that the thing I'm scared about is that we've seen GDP drop in the first quarter. We've seen it rise in the second quarter, spurred by producers and retailers purchasing up already here stock. Basically, they bought everything that we had in America to avoid when those new tariffs getting put in place and that stuff gets come in and they got to raise prices. They don't want to buy the tariff stuff because it's going to be a higher price. So they bought up everything that we had here. And that rose GDP. The third quarter, we may see another decline. And in that fourth quarter, if we see a decline in that fourth quarter, which will be kind of hard because the fourth quarter is normally propped up by the holiday season. And we see a lot of travel and shopping and things of that nature that happens in the fourth quarter. So we may see a decline or a dip. If we see a dip in that third quarter, we're not going to see a dip in the fourth quarter, only because of the holiday season and how much just comes about, just how much spending happens in the holiday season every year. But look for a recession or news of a recession in early 2026. Second quarter of 2026, we will be in a recession if these policies and things just don't change. Unemployment is rising. All the markers of a recession are there, except for those 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline. And the only reason we didn't see 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline this time around is because U.S. suppliers and store owners purchased damn near all of the U.S. supply that we had sitting around. They didn't want to wait until the tariffs get instituted and then products start get shipped over. The new stuff gets shipped over and they have to pay tariff pricing. So they bought up just a surplus of everything that we had here. And that saved the United States from actually showing a recession. But outside of that, all the other markers are there of a recession. And it's all because of Donald Trump's policies. Quite frankly, Donald Trump doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And the Project 2025 playbook is shaping America to be fucked up in a fucked up place. And I don't know why people think it's a good thing. I don't know who the fuck lied to them, Told him it was a good thing. God, I got a little alfalfa sprout coming out on the side. I need to get my hair done bad. My little gray hairs is all over the fucking place. Shit. All right, so let's switch gears for a minute. Let's talk about Teacher Bay for a minute. If you don't know who Teacher Bay is the online name for a teacher who has recently gone viral on TikTok and other social media platforms. The videos show her dancing and posing in tight-fitting, fashionable outfits filmed on school grounds have sparked significant controversy. Take a look at Teacher Bay. Teacher Bay, Teacher Bay. Teacher Bay got that thing about that. Teacher Bay got a little wag about that. Is this appropriate or inappropriate? It's un. It's needless to say, Teacher Bay. She looks good. Oh, y'all can't see. I'm over here just scrolling through Teacher Bay shit. Y'all ain't see nothing I was showing. I gotta damn now make that clipped. But Teacher Bay, go back through these pictures here a little bit. As you can see when we scroll through, Teacher Bay is a very fashionable individual. But we've not we've not had teachers dressed like this traditionally in the school setting, I'll say. Some people feel as if Teachers Bay is inappropriate. Some people feel as if Teacher Bay it's a it's a non-topic. It's like nothing burger. For me, I do understand time and place. Do I have an issue with everything that Teacher Bay has on? No, I don't. Do I have an issue with some of the things Teacher Bay puts on? Yes, I do. You have impressionable young ladies that you're teaching. You have pre puberty young men that you're teaching. Some of them may be going through puberty. Do these kids need to be seeing every little curve on Teacher Bay body? No. So I understand it, the concern. Am I going to sit here and say she needs to lose a job or anything? No. What I am surprised at is that her school district has not said anything about Teacher Bay's social media activities. It also tells me that Teacher Bay is actually a good teacher. Because if Teacher Bay is going viral on the internet with all her outfits and she's a shitty teacher, Teacher Bay will no longer be a teacher. She just be Bay. You know what I'm saying? Because they would have got rid of her. They would have used this as an excuse to get rid of her non-performing ass. So the fact that Teacher Bay is actually still employed says a lot to me. But from looking at Teacher Bay, I saw something that I want to point out to y'all. That if you haven't noticed, I want to these little pictures here. There's a bunch of Teacher Bays apparently, huh? I can't pull that one up. Give me one moment, guys. Give a fuck about that, boy. We're gonna go to YouTube, and then we're gonna pull up Teacher Bay. See, that's your teacher right there.
Cause she's so pretty.
Let's take it back a little bit here. Let's take it back here a little bit. I want you guys to take note of Teacher Bay. You know, her outfit doesn't look too crazy. You know, this is actually something I think is cool. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know, she's not overexposed, dressed tight, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that, but whatever. I want to point out this right here. Teacher Bay. Let me get big pictures here. Teacher Bay has a foot and ankle tattoo. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't trying to judge this young lady, but I come from a place in the United States of America where I have seen young ladies that have feet and ankle tattoos. Teacher Bay comes from a place similar to where I come from, where dressing like that is acceptable. And I can tell right now, Teacher Bay, with them tattoos right there, Teacher Bay, she been Bay for a while. Look at that hair. Teacher Bay ain't giving a fuck about what y'all think about her outfit. Teacher Bay is from the hood, y'all. Teacher Bay finna come out there and step and put that shit on and look good and go do her job. I really don't think that the whole issue started with parents at her school. I think the whole issue came about with hating assholes on the internet. Oh, she shouldn't be this. She shouldn't that. Grant, some of this shit, yeah, I'm like, God dang, girl, you going to the club? You going to happy hour some afterwards? But that ankle tattoo and that foot tattoo tell me don't run up on Teacher Bay. Teacher Bay might fuck you up. Let me just say that right now. Don't run up on Teacher Bay. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel about Teacher Bay, how she was dressed. This right here, let me know she will fuck you up.
Pretty. Look at my door, you guys. Hey, Miss Williams.
Hey, man, come on, man.
Look at Teacher Bay.
Come on, man.
I gotta say this.
She look like a whole dog baby here,
what
man.
you have. It's not cool to be a loser. Go to school, graduate, get your own. Because when it's all said and done, they can say whatever they want to say about you, but they can't take it from you.
That foot tattoo.
Look at Miss Williams. Good morning, Miss Williams.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Today's price is not yesterday's price.
Look at that. And Teacher Bay a little short some, so she come packed. Man, look at Teacher Bay. Man, y'all gotta be fucking. Y'all just hate. Yeah, she got a wagon back there, but what's she supposed to do? Cut that ass off? No. The fuck? Leave Teacher Bay the fuck alone. Y'all some hating ass heifers. Pretty ass woman right here. Y'all just be hating.
I just been walking in my purpose, baby. Just getting started. I ain't even scratching surface.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
What I want,
you ain't gotta like it long as God love it. I came a long way from me being outside thugging. Yeah. And all my hate.
Teacher Bay can teach my child. I don't give a damn. Teacher Bay. I'm telling you right now. If Teacher Bay teach my child, shit. Like y'all, I gotta stop hating on people, man. I ain't saying like I said, I ain't saying I agree with everything that girl had on. Some of that shit, you know, leave it to the imagination. You know, can you put on a jacket or an overcoat? You know, but stop hating. Quit fucking hating on the damn lady, y'all. What else we gonna touch on? We talked about the Department of War. I want to get to this anti-vax stuff. Before I get to that, I want to touch on something really quickly. Excuse me. I seen that Drewski skit where he was doing all the whiteface shit. I think the Drewski shit shows there's a couple things. This Drewski skit where he does the white face shit. He doesn't. He shows he's tone deaf to the plight and the whole history of that blackface whole debacle. He didn't understand. He didn't know or hear about the shit that Robert Downey Jr. got for doing blackface in a fucking movie, Tropic Thunder. He didn't hear about the history of blackface. Or maybe they did hear about the history. They don't give a fuck. Because these younger generations, they don't give a fuck about the shit that our ancestors went through. Not having to experience the civil rights movement and remnants of the civil rights movement have left the youth of today just tone deaf to a lot of shit. Did I agree with Drewski doing the whiteface? No, I did not. Did I laugh at it? Fuck no. Did I just say, oh, well, he's just being funny? He's just trying to make. We have to stop that shit. We have to call shit out. Drewski was dead ass wrong for doing that whiteface shit. Dead ass wrong. I just seen another clip where Kai Cenat doing this Mafia-thon streaming thing. And one of the young boys in the house where Kai was talking about, I think his name is Tota something. And I think it's a Chinese dude. And it was like, no, Tota's black. He's like, oh, that's my nigga. Yeah, he can say it. And then the Chinese dude, like, hey, my nigga. One, the 16-year-old boy, Rikai, doesn't realize the danger that he's putting Tota in. Because Tota doesn't realize that he can't go everywhere in America and just walk up to black people and say, what's up, my nigga? Doing that in the wrong spot will get you hurt. Like, I like to see the clips where the dude, what's his name, Ben the Don, is taking these young boys on his wing, like, hey, man, you can't do this. You can't do that. This is how you got to move. This is how you got. Like, he's giving them a real life game to try and keep them safe and moving ahead and forward in life. I love to see that type of stuff, but I hate to see when these young boys are out here just doing stuff that just shows that you're tone deaf to the history of black people in America. It's not just a joke to do whiteface. It's not just a word to tell some white boy, Chinese boy, whatever motherfucker. Oh, you can say nigga. It's just a joke. He's just funny. He's my bro. He's my friend. When somebody slaps the shit out your friend because you told him it was okay to say my nigga, what you gonna say then? Oh man, it shouldn't have hit him, man. He didn't know what he was doing. Yeah, he didn't know, but you told him that he could do that shit. And it's stuff that goes on like this, where we have people in our community. Oh man, the white boy, he cool, man. He can say nigga. Slap a white boy mouth clean out his motherfucking face. Say it in front of me. I don't give a damn who told you could say it. But our youth have gotten so tone deaf because of the disconnect. And when we try and step to them, oh, to you, man, you don't understand, man. And then we have people within our own age, my own age range, trying to say, oh, man, don't be that guy, man. You know we was young. Yes, I do know when I was young and I did dickhead shit and older adults would correct me. I do know when I was young and I would be about to do some dickhead shit and the OG nigga would stop me. People in my generation act like they don't want to be a hypocrite. Like, it's not a hypocrite. It's called being a grown-up. It's called playing our role. It's called being a big homie and not letting your little homies crash out and do dumb shit. Like, I might be the wrong person to do it because I've literally put my hands on some of my younger family members behind doing stupid shit and trying to talk to them and they buck up like they won't get bucked. Like, oh, this what you want to do? Let's wrestle, bitch. And then by the end of all that, they're like, dang, man, I ain't even, man, my bad. Like, yeah. I tried to talk to you, then I had to put my hands on you. But let's get to the main thing I want to touch on today. We talked about Trump and this alligator Alcatraz, this deportation shit. But the anti-vax push that's going on in the state of Florida is purely just it's stupid. It's flat out stupid. First of all, parents in the state of Florida have always had the right to opt in or opt out of whatever vaccines that you want to put in your child's body. Let's just start there. So we've always had the right to say yes or no to whatever vaccine we do or don't want our kids to have. I would show my daughter's vaccine schedule on the stream, but I don't want to give any type of information to my daughter's personal life. But let's start there. Then there's another graphic going around saying there's 72 doses or 72 vaccines that these kids got to take. Whether it's doses of vaccines, it's a fucking lie. They're not 72 doses. It's not 72 vaccines. Like, people on the internet just believe the dumbest shit without even fucking looking it up even a little bit. Speaking of looking it up, give me a moment. I want you guys to hear this exchange that CNN had, where they asked the Surgeon General a few questions in regards to the background of how we got to the point where in the state of Florida, we decided that our Surgeon General decided that it was a good idea to end vaccines.
Hear the final cries of nature.
Florida announced a plan to ban all state vaccine mandates.
Let's go.
This followed declining vaccination rates. Is the Surgeon General of the state of Florida, Dr. Joseph Ladapo. Dr. Ladapo, thank you so much for joining us. You just heard President Trump say that if a state were to remove vaccine mandates, quote, that other people will catch it and they endanger other people, unquote. So obviously, you think that President Trump is wrong?
You know, I'm not sure that I agree with you. Actually, I'm sure I don't agree with you in terms of what President Trump said. You know, there's some confusion about what we said. We're not taking vaccines away from anyone. What we said was that if you want them, God bless you, you can have as many as you want. And if you don't want them, parents should have the ability and the power to decide what goes into their children's bodies. It's that simple.
They're lying. They are lying. Said they were getting rid of the entire vaccine schedule in the state of Florida. And they made it seem as if we don't have the right to, but we do have the right, and we've always had the right. So it's a fucking lie. This is why I tell people right now it's dangerous in America, because people are emotionally driven and not logically driven. Because had you fucking listened, you realize he's fucking lying. He's fucking lying. Fucking lying.
So as you know, the medical community really disagrees with your position in general. Your predecessor, former Florida Surgeon General Scott Rivkees, criticized your plan. He warned that, quote, children in Florida will now be more at risk of vaccine preventable illnesses than at any time in recent history. And he says it's not just Florida children that you are putting at risk, but you're also putting at risk the entire broader U.S. population. What's your response to him?
Yeah, so, you know, Dr. Rivkees was my predecessor here at the Department of Health, and I you know, it's a great, there's a lot there. And I think, first of all, it's important to remember that there are countries out there that don't have vaccine mandates for school. Sweden is an example of a country like that. The United Kingdom, I believe, is another example. I think Denmark also. And guys, the sky is not falling over there. So the whole idea, I mean, do you not believe that parents are incapable of making decisions?
Once again, those places that he just named haven't had the history with the diseases that we have. We have chickenpox vaccine for a reason. We have a polio vaccine for a reason, because we've had real fucking problems with this shit in the past. And once again, they keep circling back to this. Oh, well, the parent doesn't have the right. We've always had the right, motherfucker. Like,
with the information that they receive from their pediatricians, because either you don't believe that parents can make good decisions for their children, or the position just doesn't make sense.
Gaslighting 101. Gaslighting 101. He's trying to tap dance on your emotions. Boy, you don't trust the parents to make informed decisions now. This is how they talk. This is what drives motherfuckers. Let's go. Get him. Get him.
I'm looking at this report from your department from April showing that more people in Florida are seeking religious exemptions for vaccines. And at the same time, Florida is seeing rising cases of hepatitis A and whooping cough and chickenpox. This is in your own report, your own department's report. Before you made this decision to try to lift vaccine.
So in the very report that he put out there in their press release, we've already started to see increases in diseases amongst the unvaccinated. And then they want to lift the vaccine mandate. I'm gonna get to why this is going on in a minute, but let's listen some more because this is way for to punch me in the shit.
Mandates for Florida, which include obviously public schools. Did your department do any data analysis? Did you do any data projection of how many new cases of these diseases there will be in Florida once you remove vaccine mandates?
Absolutely. So absolutely not, because it's not a, you mentioned whooping cough there. So there's this conflation of the science and sort of what is the right and wrong thing to do. So scientifically, you mentioned whooping cough. So that's an example. This is part of the issue with informed consent. That's an example of a vaccine that is ineffective. The data show that it's ineffective at preventing transmission. So sort of mandates with that really don't have anything to do with the notion of transmission. And then in terms of, like analysis, well, ultimately, this is an issue very clearly of parents' rights. So do I need to analyze whether it's appropriate for parents to be able to...
Once again, they keep circling back to that gaslighting issue. This is a parent's rights. You're trying to say that parents don't have the right? We've always had the right, motherfucker. We've always had it. You literally have to sign consent or reject on each vaccine that they say, hey, do you want your kid to have this? So understand how they keep on laying on the theatrics and the gaslighting to get people on board with this. Oh, yeah, the parents should have a right to do that. Yeah, it does sound good. The parents should have the right. It's their child. We've always had the right, dumb motherfuckers.
Decide what goes into their children's bodies. I don't need to do an analysis on that.
So you're trying to lift the vaccine mandate in Florida, and your department and you did not even do a projection as to how this could impact public health. So you have not prepared hospitals in the Florida counties most at risk with the best treatments for any outbreaks of measles, mumps, rubella, whooping cough, polio, and you have not looked into how many kids might now get these preventable diseases? That's what you're saying?
That's exactly what the fuck he said. That's exactly what the fuck he said. They have not done any of the type of research that would say, hey, this is what's going to happen. It's called an if-then analysis. If this, then that. That's a very basic analysis too. And all it is saying is if this occurs, then that will be the result. If we remove vaccine mandates, this is the result. Very basic analysis. Has not been done. But we already know from the data in their own press release, we have an increase in chickenpox, measles, we have an increase in all this different shit because of already unvaccinated push, anti-vax push in the state. Have a lot of this shit going on because anti-vaxxers say, well, I don't believe in the vaccines. And then their kid catches the shit and they're like, well, what can we do now? Pray, because your kid's going to die. That's pretty much all you can do.
Well, that's what you said. What I'm saying is that it's an issue of right and wrong in terms of whether parents...
See how he keeps saying, hey, he just asked him a straightforward question about, hey, did you do an analysis to say what is the results? And he keeps going back to, well, this is an issue about parents having the right to choose.
Should be able to control, have ultimate authority over what happens to their kids' bodies. And in terms of outbreaks, we do have outbreaks in Florida, just like every state, and we manage those. So there are no new special, special procedures that need to be made.
Right, but you're talking.
Look at this nigga ass lips. You shouldn't trust no nigga that's talking to you when they lips that fucking ass. You should know they fucking lying.
About doing something that no other state has done.
Them just as always.
But you're talking about doing something that no other state in the United States has done and removing the vaccine mandate for public schools. You're making a decision that no other Surgeon General in the United States has done. It goes against what's recommended by every top medical organization, including the AMA, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Boston Center on Emerging Infectious Diseases. It goes against what parents in Florida want. 82% of parents in Florida schools said public schools should require vaccines for measles and polio with health and religious exemptions. It goes against what Senator Rick Scott, a Republican from Florida, wants. He thinks sticking with a religious exemption is fine. It goes against the Florida Medical Association, which in the past has backed Governor DeSantis. So all of these people are wrong, and you are right.
Again, sort of casting it in that way is not what I would do. Is not how I look at it.
It's a fact.
You look at the last.
Fact,
I would say what I would say is that, my history, if you will, is I share what I believe is the right thing to do, whether it's popular or not. You have sovereignty over your body. I mean, that's where it starts, and you should be able to decide what you put in your body. And if you can't decide what you put in your body, I mean, what do you actually, what can you decide?
I know a veteran of the war in Iraq. He's a big Trump supporter. He's a big MAGA guy. He has a kid who is immunocompromised, who cannot get vaccinated. It does not have a strong enough body to take an immunization. He is relying on the kids in his class to be vaccinated so he doesn't get those diseases. That's what President Trump was referring to in his comments. What is your message to the parents of immunocompromised kids who are relying on most kids being vaccinated so their kids are safe? You talk about liberty and freedom for parents, but it seems like you're removing liberty and freedom.
This is what Ivy League universities you can get into with a 3.6 GPA. 90% is
freedom for the parents of kids who are immunocompromised.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting way to conceive that, to sort of describe that, but I don't think that's a dynamic at all. Ultimately, obviously, we're all very sympathetic.
That's a dynamic at all. This man just told you we got immunocompromised people in the world. What do you say to those people? Oh, I don't think that's a dynamic. I think that's. It's the Florida Surgeon General telling you this shit.
To children and families who have to deal with chronic illnesses, and I'm a parent. It's we care about our kids more than anything. At the same time, it's important to recognize just the difference between right and wrong, and ultimately, however whatever the challenges are, and by the way, the challenges for being immunocompromised, I mean, they're really significant, and they extend way beyond just the diseases that we have vaccines for.
Did you vaccinate your kids?
Jake, really briefly, I'll just say one other thing. Jake, just really briefly, one other thing. Again, this whole, Florida hasn't done any analysis, that's nonsense.
You said you hadn't done any projection.
We don't need to do. The way you're portraying it is nonsense. We don't need to do any projections. We handle outbreaks all the time. So there's nothing special that we would need to do.
All right, Surgeon General Dr. Joseph Latipa, thank you.
The Surgeon General of the state of Florida is going to cause your kids to die. That's the short of it. That's the short of it. Why? For political fucking positioning. He's not the only black person that we've seen this governor use to push his political agenda, no matter how it fucking impacts the state. Oh, we got some chats. What's going on, Purple Glass Media? Bill Plute, the whistleblower for Lisa Cook. Family has been found to have multiple homes, claim property, primary residence of both homes. Listen, damn Bill Plute, there are people in Trump's cabinet that have this situation right now. They've pointed it out. I remember reading an article last week. I think it's like 3 or 4 people within Trump's cabinet that are claiming primary residences for places that they're not living, all for tax exempt purposes. and they got other bullshit going on. The reality is I keep saying it, and people don't want to believe it, but Trump is not going to allow a black woman to have any power in his realm. We've seen him; he's done it time and time again. He's women in general. He's removed almost every high-ranking woman that was in place, black, white, and different, and they're gonna use all type of sneaky ways to do it. We really just need to have a blue wave during the midterm elections, and Congress take back their power. What you guys missed, and we talked about it, people in politics talked about it, is that Congress gave up the Republicans upon Congress. Republicans in Congress gave Trump this power. They succeeded power to him, say, oh, well, you can use this. And Trump has been writing executive order after executive order after executive order, after talking shit about Obama and Biden doing their executive orders. I don't understand the Republicans' fear where they just see all this shit going on and they turn a blind eye to it. Well, I do understand it because they're trying to gain from it. A lot of people position themselves. I have a lot of people that tell me, oh, I'm trying to see how I can benefit from this, that, and other. And they never benefit. And they call me the bad guy for pointing out the obvious. Why you always got to say something? Because your stupid ass don't want to say something. That's all I want to touch on today, y'all. Like, comment, share, subscribe.